Okay, cool. Is it my screen is visible? So I'm sharing the screen X calendar. Can you
Yes,
guys?
sir.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. Thank you guys for joining the course. So we'll get started. This is like the course content already shared with you guys. Like it's a 10 days program where we will be covering the basics and like as a Java developer or Android developer, or you can say Selenium developer. What are uh, the the concepts are required to work on this area? So all those topics will be covered. Yeah. And this course is for the beginners. And suppose if somebody is looking for the advanced concepts, like if you are an advanced learner, already you have experience with the Java, it may not be that useful for you. At least something like new features, whatever you are not up to the like advanced developers. I'm saying that advanced learners. If you haven't used the Java 21 features, like those features also we will try to cover in this course. Cool. Now here, the main focus is for the college students and as well as the like fresh graduates who wants to make their career in the Java. For them, it is really helpful. And at the same time, if you are not decided whether to go as a Java full stack developer or Android developer or the testing side, so this is the best course for you to get overview of the how Java works and introduction to the all the object-oriented concepts and how you will be connecting with the databases. Those topics will be covered. And from the day one, we would be following the all the best practices we would be following. So everything I'll be coding and I'll be showing the all the examples at the end of the session. So we will, what are the examples, classroom examples we are executing, we'll be sharing with you. Okay. The first thing is when we need to make it our dev environment ready. Okay, this is a dev environment when you're taking here. So the main thing is we need to install the JDK, we need to install, and then we required a one IDE. So this IDE JDK, we can, the latest version is a JDK 21. If you have already installed this some other version, and if it is already running in your machine, don't worry, you can stay with that version. Suppose if it is not installed, if you want to install a Java version, you go with the latest version, which is a 21. Okay, so how do you check that here, whether JDK is installed in your machine or not? You can open your terminal, any terminal, you can open that here. In Windows machine, you can open the command prompt. Just you type here Java version. It would give you the what is the JDK version you are using. So currently I'm using the JDK 21 I'm using here. To check that here, just open your command prompt. So in case of the Windows, uh, you can open the run command and where you can type the CMD. Yeah, our command prompt, you can search for that. And there you type that his Java version, which will tell you that what is the JDK version you are using that. If this says that Java is unknown command, that means Java is not installed. This is the first thing you can check that here. Suppose if you are having the JDK 18 or JDK 8 or 11, that's okay. You can upgrade or like you can install the multiple versions these days. You can install the multiple versions. You can install. If you're using the old version, if you want to update, if you're using that your laptop is a personal laptop, then you can upgrade your JDK version to the latest version. You can upgrade. If it is a company laptop you are using, so stay with the whatever the version you are using. You will not have the permission to install that here. Go with the old version, no problem. Yeah. The next one is IDE. Okay, here to install the JDK, it's a very simple and straightforward. There is nothing complex at all. Okay, you can go to the JDK download. JDK download, where it will tell you that here, hey, what is the JDK you required here? And it's saying that here, in case of the like you can choose the what is the version you required. What is the version you required? You choose that here. Let me copy this link. I'm going to put it here, JDK. This is a place where I'm going to put this. You download. So then there is nothing installation like no instructions. Just you follow the what are the installation instruction. When you download the executable file, you follow the installation wizard. You follow that here. So which will help you to get it installed here. Okay, in case of the Linux and Windows, these are the things. Once you have done that here, this is what you need to check that here, whether Java is installed properly or not. You open the terminal and you execute this command. The next one is we need a one IDE. We need a IDE. So the most popularly used IDEs are IntelliJ IDE. Then you have something called the Eclipse and NetBeans. So these are the some of the most widely used IDEs. So you can download the IDE IntelliJ IDEA download. Just we are going to say that IntelliJ IDEA, where you can download the community edition. You can download. Okay, whereas this is only one 30 days is a free. Then later it is going to ask you the like no we have to purchase. So as a Java developer, like no to do the to work on this, what are the training classes? This is good enough. IntelliJ IDE for community edition is good enough, and some of the things are free for the students. You can check that here. Yeah, if you are working in a college, even ultimate version also it's free for you. You can register with them and you can download. So the community edition, we don't have any restrictions. You can download that here. Okay, there are some features are not available in the community edition, but for this course, this is good enough. It's not only course to work in the projects also, open source projects also. The IntelliJ community edition is good enough. You can download this community edition. You can download. Okay, now you can copy this here, and here we are going. I'm going to paste this link here. So this is the second thing we need to download and you would be installing in your operating system. Okay, once you are done with that, the next tool is required is your JIT, and JIT is required. Okay, JIT, you can download the JIT version again JIT, and then there is something called the Maven. Okay, Maven. So these are the things it's required here. Okay, JDK. So JIT and then there is a Maven. Okay, and JIT is the version control system where you are going to manage your source code, where you are going to manage in your source code. Maybe GitHub or Bitbucket you would be using that here. We are going to use the GitHub. You would be using that here in order to maintain the versions of your source code. You would be using the JIT. You are going to use it here. Let me put it in properly. These things. Okay. So this is a place where you are going to download JDK, and this is a IDE. Okay. Then here we have a JIT. We are having here. Just we can say that here JIT bash. You just type the JIT bash, download the JIT bash. Okay. So here again, you choose the operating system, then you follow the installation. What are the instructions they have given? You can install that here. Yeah, because I already my setup is done that here. So you're going to take it here. I'll be JIT again. I will be pasting here. Okay, this is a link. You can download the JIT. You can download. Then there's something on the Maven. So Maven download, or you can by using the brew. If you are using the Mac, you can install the by using the command line, or you can download this is a zip file. We can download it here. Okay, this is a Maven. We would be downloading that. So these are the core things we need to download. These are the core things you need to download and install here. So for us to learn and work on this course, these are the things it's required. One JDK, one IDE, JIT, and then you are going to take the Maven. Once you are done with this installation, then you can create a Maven project. We can create it here. So what is this Maven project? I'll explain that. So whenever you are working in any projects, when you are going to work on any projects, uh, the across the developers, we should have the common directory structure. That's the first thing. The second thing is we would be using the lot of third-party libraries. We would be using that here. Okay, with the Java alone, we cannot develop the projects. With the Java alone, we cannot develop the projects. We need a lot of third-party libraries which is required here. Okay, we need a lot of third-party libraries which is required. So those third-party libraries we cannot download and every time you cannot download and you cannot add it into your project. That's where we would be using the Maven. We are going to use it here. So at this point of time, you can take it as Maven is a build tool. Maven is a build tool. It will help you. It will help you automate your build process, and at the same time, it is going to manage your dependencies. So from the day one, what are the hello world example we are going to write it here? We would be creating the Maven project. We are going to create it here. And this Maven project, when you create that here, it will have the standard directory structure. Okay, this is your project name. Let's take it as a simple example I'm giving here. We are creating a simple project. We are going to create it here. When you are creating the project will have this is a project name, project underscore name. You can use some project name, and it would have the standard directory structure. There is something called in this project you will have something called the pom.xml file. The file name called the pom.xml, the project object model, and then it will have a few directories. You will have it here. The first directory is src main Java. All your source code will be maintained in src main Java. All your test cases are going to maintain in src test Java. Src test Java. All your test cases will be written in src test Java. There is another directory. We have something called the src main resources. Okay, this is another one, src main resources. So all your configurations will be maintained in src main resources. It is going to be configured, and then you will have the src test resources. All your test cases, test related configuration information will be maintained in that. So why I'm explaining this directory structure is now we are going to create one Maven project. Whenever you create that here, this is the standard directory structure. Suppose if you are working in a Java project, regardless it's a smaller, bigger applications, you will have the standard directory structure. You will have it here. So the moment you create a Maven or a Gradle project, so this is a standard directory structure. Every developer knows that here where to put the source code, source files, and where to put the test files. And whenever you are building this application, you follow the standard directory structures. Even the Maven also will know or will understand about this directory structure. And if there is any changes, we have to go and add it in configuration files. You have to add it and you have to do the changes in your build mechanism. Generally, we don't do that here. So we will follow the standard directory structure. We will follow and we'll create the projects. You are going to create it here. So this is a project we would be creating that. A simple project we'll create. I'll show you that practically how to create a project in your IDE. And then how we are going to write a hello world example. I will be explaining that here. So first you have to ensure that your dev environment is ready. Then you can open the IntelliJ IDE. We can open that here. And I'm going to open the IntelliJ IDE. I'm going to open here. So just I'm typing here IntelliJ IDE. Okay, here I have created the couple of projects I created here. That's the reason it is showing that here. Now here we are going to select the new project. I'm going to select it here. The moment you select the new project, and here it is asking the, hey, what is the name of your project and where you want to maintain this project, where you want to, which directory you want to maintain your project or store this project, whether it has to be, Git has to be initialized or not. And here we have a different things, IntelliJ, and then we have a Maven and a Gradle we are having here, and it is choosing, it is selecting the, since I have installed the JDK 21, it has taken that his JDK 21 is available. Do you want to use the 21 or you want to change that? Then you want to add the sample code or not, and then there is advanced settings. So what is your group ID and artifact ID? Now what I'm saying here is this is I will be saying it as a core Java, core underscore Java, or we can say core Java. Okay, we will be saying it as a learning core Java, learning core underscore Java. Okay. This is a project name. I'm going to take it here. This is my project name. I'm taking here, learning core underscore Java. I'm taking here, and here I'm selecting it as a Maven project. And if you want to change this directory to some other place, you can change that here. But I'm okay with the keeping in this document. And here I'm saying it as a initialize the Git repository. You can select that here. There is nothing wrong here. You can select it here. I'll explain that why we need to do that here. So then we are choosing the Maven, and here we are going to say it as a your company name, career IT, and this is a project name. So LCJ, I'm going to say that here, learning core Java. We are making it as a simple artifact ID we are making here. So this is a com.career IT. This is my project name. I'm working on that here. This is a group ID. Group ID is always reverse of your domain name. Suppose your company name is xyz.com or xyz.io, then your package names will start with the io.your company name and your project name. The artifact ID is, you can take it as a kind of a project name. Then I'm going to say it as a create. I'm saying it as a create. Do you want to add a sample code? We can add the sample code, or you can ignore that. So just we would be creating this. Okay, when you open this here new project, you are giving the name of the project and location where this project has to be created. And you are saying that here it's a Java and a Maven project. And here we are choosing the JDK version, and what is the group ID and artifact ID we are going to specify. Then you are going to create. This would create one project. It's going to create it here. This is a project which is created. And this project will have the standard directory structure. As I explained this here, src main Java, src main resources, src test Java, and here resources folder is missing. Okay, just we can add it here, resources. You can add it here. Okay, this is a standard directory structure. This is your project name, and there is a pom.xml file, and you have something called the src main Java, src test Java, and the main Java you will maintain all your source code here, and the test Java you are going to maintain all the test cases and related resources you are going to maintain. This is a common or standard directory structure for any Maven project. Okay. Now, the next thing is when you are once you create this project, the Java project you have created. Now, what should I do here? Like, no. So how do I write my simple hello world example? Okay, just to ensure that whether things are working or not after your setup, you can create a Maven project and you just create one hello world example. First, you create a package. This package name is the career IT dot lcj dot day one. I'm learning the core Java day one. I'm learning here. This we call it as a package. Okay, we call it as a package. So whenever you create that, these are the terminology we need to get familiar also. The package is nothing but you can say it as a directory or folder. So whenever you are maintaining your source code, we need to follow this certain directory structure. Okay, otherwise everything, if you dump it in one folder, the searching will become very difficult. like no, when you are working in any project, you will have the something called the controllers, and we'll have a service, and then we have a DAO, then you have a util. Okay, like then where you are going to write a business logic, all business logic related classes will be there in the service folder. All your web services, whatever you are writing here, it is going to be in the controller. All database interactions, you are going to put it in a DAO. All your utility classes, you would be writing in the util package. Why are you doing the clear separation means tomorrow if you are doing the any fixes or any you are enhancing that, it is easy to navigate one thing. Another thing is you are not combining your business logic, database access into the one folder. You will not get the naming conflicts also. So these are it's the best example is like, whenever you buy a system, you will divide into the two like your entire hard disk, you will make it as a multiple partitions, and each partition you will create a separate directory where you are going to maintain your personal documents or movies or like, so you will not combine everything into the one place. The same thing here also when you're working in a projects, you will have a standard, you will have a packages. The packages are typically the naming conventions is reverse of your domain name, your project name, and your module name. Okay, the com.careerit, the careerit.com. So that's a com.careerit, and this is my project name and day one. And tomorrow, if I'm working on the day two, so just I'll be creating it as a new package. I'll be creating it as a day two. Okay, I'm going to create it as a day two. I'm going to create it here. So now here we have a day one example. Here we'll have the day two examples. We'll have it here. This is a standard directory. The packages you would be creating. Suppose if you are working in a projects, you will have the project name and this is a module name. This is your reverse of your domain name, the project name and module name. These are conventions. You will follow that here. So since we are not working on the project and we are creating the day one module, day one as a module I'm creating here. Okay, when you are working in the projects, let me show you that here. Okay, the POC projects, let me open this POC project. New window I'm going to open here. Suppose if you are working in the projects, if you are working on that here, I have got the package conventions. You can see here, this is my project name is, I can say currency server app, where we have a jfs.csp is my project name. All my configurations are here, my controllers are here, my domain classes are here, the service classes are here. Like now, whenever I want to fix something, my API is not working, directly I will go to the controller and I would be adding and I am going to make modifications. The domain classes, service classes, this is the standards we will follow. The package naming conventions we will follow when you're working in the projects. From the day one, I want you to get familiar with the packages. Okay, that's the reason just I'm going to take it as the package name is I'm taking it as let me close this. Yeah, I'm taking this as a your career IT project name and the day one I'm taking here. So that you will not get when you're working with the projects, sometimes you will see very big the packages, you will see that here. The packages are nothing but it's a directory. It's a simple directory. Now inside the com, I created a career IT. Inside that we created a LCJ we created and day one. That's all. All the day one related classes we are going to put it in this package. Now I'm going to create a first hello world example I'm creating here. New Java class I'm creating here. This I will be saying it as a hello world. Hello world. Nothing we are doing here, just we created here. This automatically added the package. The first statement in your Java class is a package. Then it is created the one hello world class he created. Okay, let me increase the size, font size. Okay, font appearance. Okay, font is here. Let me make it as 18. I'm going to make it here. Apply, click here. Okay. Settings. Okay, apply, click here. Okay, I think this is slightly better. Now here we are writing the hello world example I'm writing here. And Java main method, the Java main method signature is public. Okay. Before I'm typing that, I'm getting the code. Generally, you don't get it. Here I'm using the AI tool called the GitHub Copilot. I'm using here. I'm using the AI tool called the GitHub Copilot. I'm using here. Okay. So GitHub Copilot I'm using here. Okay. This because of this, I'm getting the code completion I'm getting here. This is a GitHub Copilot I'm using here. That's the reason I'm getting here. Like, you will be, when you are watching the video, you may think that here before typing, is getting that way. I'm not getting. You may get that thought. So here I'm using the GitHub Copilot. This GitHub Copilot it's like kind of a. It will give you the moment I type this program here. It is saying that here, hey, do you want to write this? Because I have written the hello world, and it is suggesting me, do you want to write the main method, and with the hello world message, it is suggesting me that here. If you don't want, just you can escape. And here we want to type the manually. I'm typing here static void main string array args. We are going to take it here, and where we are going to open this here. And what is the message you want to print it here? This is a main method signature. Don't worry too much about what is this public static void. We will be discussing and we'll understand in the upcoming sessions. The main method signature is, this is what public static void main, the string array as the argument. You are going to take it here, and then here wherever you are writing the main method, that's a signature. Like, so here first thing is what we'll do here is we are going to create a package. Once you create a package, we'll be creating a class. The class will have this is the source code. Suppose if I'm writing the package name, package import, here we are going to have the first statement is a package com.career IT dot, okay, LCJ learning core Java and day one. These are my package name. And here when you create a class, this is what it will have it here, public class hello world. Okay, then you would be closing this here. And here we are going to write a main method. We are writing here. You are going to write a main method. The main method signature is public static void main string array as the args. Okay, then you are going to open and you would be closing this here. And here you are going to write it here. The class can have the multiple methods, like whatever you are going to write it, you should be writing inside the class. In Java, whatever you are going to write it here, that should be written inside the class. And the class will have the main method. Okay, when you are learning the core Java, you would be writing the main method in every class. But generally, when you take that, the entire application will have the only one main method. Since we want to execute immediately, want to see the output, what we are doing here is every class will create a main method. Inside the main method, you would be writing what is the message you want to print it here, or what is the computations you want to do that here, you would be writing inside the main method. And the method starting, this is a curly brace, ending is a closing curly brace, class starting curly brace and ends with this curly brace. Now here we would be writing what do you want to do that here? Just we want to print a generic message. Okay, a simple message you want to print it here. This is a place where you are doing here system.out.println. Whatever you want to print it output on the console. So you would be using the system is a class out.println. The system.out means you connect with the standard output device, that is a console. Println, you print the new line. And what are the message you want to write it here, you should be giving in a double quotes. So welcome to Java world. Welcome to Java world. We are going to type it here. Okay, welcome to Java world. You close this here, and end statement. So every statement should be having the end statement. Otherwise, the compiler is going to complain about that here. This is a simple hello world example. We are typing. So same thing I'm doing in the IDE I'm doing here. The main method, how we are writing here, public static void main. This is a main method signature. And whatever the message you want to print it on the console system, it will give you the suggestion also. We need not to type everything. So the moment you type the system dot, it is giving the some suggestions. It is going to give it here. Out dot println. Out dot println. We are going to say that here. Welcome to Java world. Welcome to Java world. I'm going to say that here. The moment you created this here, now here we are going to run hello world example. I'm going to run it here. Okay, so this will build and it is going to run that here. So whatever the message you are printing here, it is printing on the console. It is going to print it here. Once you execute this here, this will ensure that your dev environment is ready. Okay, your dev environment is ready. Now you are going to learn the Java. First, you have to ensure that the dev setup is, you have done that here. And then you are creating a project and you are executing the hello world example. With that, we can say, so our dev environment is proper. There we don't have any issues. Yeah. And another thing is these days, Java people also, they are coming up with the, like now when you are learning the first example, we have to do a lot of things. Even Java people also, they are coming up with the without main method, and you can write it in your file, the statements, and you can execute. It is in a development stage. Maybe in future we may see that here, like a Python or some other languages, like you without main method, you can go and write the statements and it would be executing that here. So as a beginner, when you are listening the first time, why should I create a class and what is this main method, and why don't I write the directly statement, like why do I need to create this all the noisy code? That's a definitely when you're learning the first time, whatever I'm speaking now, you may feel that little odd, so I have to create a class, I have to write a method. So just finally I'm printing the welcome to Java world. Why don't I write the directly system.out.println, or just println, you write the welcome to Java world. Even Java people also working towards that. So but the standard approach is whatever you want to execute in Java, first you have to create a class. You would be writing the main method. Inside the main method, you would be writing your source. What are the statements you want to execute? You would be writing that here. Okay. Suppose if Java people in a feature, if you may see that here directly, you can open the JShell. Okay, whether JShell, you can open that here, and where you can type the system.out.println. Okay, println, I'm going to say that here. This is a place where I'm saying that as a welcome to Java world. Okay, this is you can execute and you can see that here. This JShell is an interactive shell where you can execute the Java commands. You can execute here. Like now, when you are working on the projects, you got a doubt, you got it here. Okay, just let me take it as an import java.text package. I'm going to import here, or you can say it as a local date. Okay, here import java.time package. I'm going to import java.time java.time. Hey, how come? Let me take it here. Let me take it as a local date. Okay, local date java.time. Okay, did not allow that here. Just I'm going to import java.time dot star. Okay, that's a mistake. Local date. Let me take it as a now. I'm going to say it as a now. What is the date? It is going to print it here. Just is it a date format? I don't know whether it is a mmdd yy or dd mmyy. Just I had a doubt. I want to see that here you are working in a project. Now you got it out. So one is you can go and open the documentation and you can read about that, or you can use the JShell. You can open that JShell interactive shell. You can open, and what are the things you want to do that you can do that here. Suppose if I'm doing the 2 divided by 3, if I'm doing here, the result is I'm expecting it as 0.666 I'm expecting, but it is going to become the 0. Why it is giving the 0? Integer value, when you divide with the another integer value, result you will get it as the integer value, you will get it here. So these kind of fundamental doubts, when you get that here, that's the best place is you can come to the interactive shell and JShell you can come and you can execute the your commands, you can execute Java commands, you can execute. So this was added in JDK 11. It is added here. Uh, uh, Simple examples or simple doubts you can clarify by using the interactive shell. Like you need not to create a project and go and execute this code. Just open JShell and what are the doubts you have, you can just type in the code and you can check that here whether things are working or not. You can check. This is another option. They have introduced JShell. Then you can typically what you will do here is whenever you get such a doubt, you will create a one test class and you will execute in case of the projects. Cool. So this is a way you can make it as your dev environment ready and you can create a project. You can create a project. Okay, I'm going to create this project once again for you guys. Like no, if you are not followed that, that's okay. Don't worry. So we will be creating the. Okay, one more time I'm going to create it here. The second time I'm repeating here. This is a project how we are going to create. Let me explain this here. I deleted that. Okay, so now here, okay, this project has been deleted. Still, okay. Now how we are going to create IntelliJ IDE we are going to open. First you are going to open the IntelliJ IDE we are going to open here. And here you are going to create a one new project I'm creating here. And this project name, whatever you want, you can give that here. And here I'm giving it as a learning core underscore Java. I'm going to give it here. And I'm storing in the location documents. I'm going to store it here. I'm using the Java and Maven project. In the advanced settings, you can set it as the basic package name. You can set it here, LCJ. I'm going to say that here. And just you say that create project. And here it will have the standard directory structure, src main Java and src test Java. And here you can create a first package. You right click on this src main Java, new package you created here. The package name is your company name dot lcj. I'm going to say it as a day one. Okay, I'm doing the day one. Let me explain this here. You can close this here, pom.xml file. New class you created here. This is a class like in Java. We have got the class interface record enum and annotation. Here we are going to select the class and this class name is hello world. Okay, class name is hello world. I'm going to say that here. And the moment I say hello world, it is added the package name and it's added the hello world. And here we want to type a main method. Just you would be typing the main method. When you're typing the main method, you will not get this help. Just you're typing here public static void main, and I will be taking the string array as the aux. And then here we are going to type the system.out.println hello world. You can click here and you can run that here, or right click and run hello world. Either way, it's fine. Or you can select the current file. You can say that run. Okay, best option is this one. Like now already it's a play button is highlighted here. Just we are going to run hello world, which would be printing the welcome to Java world. It's going to open the console and the output is going to show it as a this is what hello world it's printing here. So this is a way you can create a simple Maven project and you can create a hello world example. Any questions so far? Whatever the project creation, does anyone has any questions? Let me give a pause. Does anyone has any questions?
Sir, is it necessary to check the also advanced options, sir, in creating project?
Advanced options. No, just you are creating the, suppose if you don't select the advanced options, okay, you need to create a the artifact ID and group ID. It is going to give it as a default. We don't want to get the default. We want to get the artifact ID is this is a group ID and my artifact ID, I need it as a LCJ I required here. That's the reason we are changing in the advanced options. Otherwise, it will take the project name as your artifact ID. It is going to take it. Correct. So we don't want to give the project name as artifact ID. So in the advanced options, we are changing that name. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay, cool. Any other questions? Make it session interactive so that like no even smallest doubt whatever you have you can ask me. So so that that question may be others also may be having the question they are unable to ask. It will be helpful for others also. My explanation. Yeah. Cool. Now here we have clarified the what you can say, or we can say that no, we made it as our dev environment ready. Okay. Then before we are jumping into the coding and all this part, we need to understand the what is this Java and why do you need Java? What is the scope of this Java and where I'm going to use it here? Okay. Uh, what are the things we need to learn Java? These are the questions we'll have it here. Like no, without knowing Java, just we created a project and we did the installation and we create a project and then we executed that simple class we executed happy like no. First of all, before we are learning that here, before you are going further, first thing is when it comes to the Java, we have the main things is JSE and JEE, JME. Okay, these are the things you would be uh, learning and you would be working if you are a Java developer. JSE is a standard edition, enterprise edition, and micro edition. Now, what are the core Java we are going to learn? The core Java is a JSE, Java Standard Edition, where you can develop these standalone applications. Standalone application means it doesn't require any servers or it is not going to run it in a distributed environment. It's going to run it in a standalone, like in your machine, it's going to run that here. That we call it as a JSE, Java Standard Edition. Java Enterprise Edition, where you are going to build a enterprise grade applications. Like this is a place where you would be using the uh, Hibernate and Spring framework. The enterprises framework you are going to use it here, and you are going to build the large applications or the more scalable applications you would be building, and you will be deploying into the servers. You are going to deploy that here. And then we have something called the JME, Java Micro Edition. This is a version we would be using when you're working with the mobile games development. That's the places where we would be using the JME. We are going to use it here. As a full stack developer, Java developer, if you want to go it as a backend developer, you need to learn two things here, JSE and JEE. These are two things you should learn that here. Okay, if you are going it as a gaming side and mobile application development side, you may be going with the JME. You are going with that. So here, as a backend developer, we require a JSE and JEE. So this JSE is the foundation, or we can say it as the fundamentals for the JEE. The fundamentals for the JEE. So here, once you learn JSE, Java Standard Edition, that's nothing but the core Java. Our convenience, we are making it as a core Java, where you can choose your career. As an Android developer, if you are going also, JSE knowledge is required. If you are going it as a Selenium developer or testing side, you require a JSE. If you are going it as a Java full stack or Java backend developer, you require a JSE. JSE is the base, or you can say it as a fundamental thing to learn the Android, to learn the Selenium, to learn to work with the JEE frameworks. If you have a good knowledge on the JSE, you can go and work on these areas like Android applications you can work comfortably, or Selenium test cases you can write it here, and test automation you can do that. And another one is you can go it as a completely the enterprise application side also you can move that here. And as a programmer or any developer, we must have the one programming language knowledge, okay, one database and one UI technology. And here we are choosing it as a core Java is our core Java. We are going to take it as the language. We are going to choose it as some of them are the first programming language. Once you have a familiar with the Java, I'm 100% sure you can go and comfortably work with the Python. You can go and work with the .NET. Yeah. So more or less like Java has got the all concepts. What are the concepts in other programming languages has, Java has got the almost all the concepts it contains here. Once you are familiar with the one programming languages, and switching to the other programming languages will become the easy. Okay, to learn the programming language, we need to choose the one language. That language we are choosing it as a core Java. We are Java JSE. We are choosing that here. Now here, when I'm taking here core Java, the core Java is the fundamental concepts like how we are going to write a if statement, how we are writing the switch statement, for loops and while loops, and what is the object-oriented concepts, and how the exceptions are used, and how are you going to use the collections. These all concepts we'll cover in a core Java. These all the concepts will be covered in core Java or J2SE. It is going to be covered, and where there is a UI, AWT, we have a UI. We are not going to concentrate on the UI. Only we will be learning the core concepts. You are going to learn that here, because these days everything is a rich UI. People are using like Angular, React, or Ionic, the native applications. So when they are using that here, we will not work with the AWT standalone applications. We will not be working. So everything is now the SaaS based applications you are seeing in the market. So we need not to spend more time on we are not going to spend any time on the desktop GUI applications. We are not going to use it here. So we will be learning the fundamental concepts, the programming fundamentals you are learning, regardless either it's a Java or other programming languages. Those fundamental concepts are same. Then we learn about the object-oriented programming. Then we are going to learn about the exception handling. Then we are learning about collections, and we will be learning about the how to interact with the databases. We will be learning that here. Okay, cool. Now here the core Java we are going to learn. And when you take the Java is a programming language, as well as it is also a platform. Java is a programming language and a platform. When you say that here, if you take your operating system, the Windows or Mac, if you take that here, your JDK is going to install on top of your operating system, and it will create its own sandbox. All your Java programs are going to run it in this sandbox. For that, we need to install the JDK. When you install the JDK, it is going to install the two things, JDK and JRE. When you take the JDK stands for the Java Development Kit. JRE stands for the Java Runtime Environment. So to run your Java applications, we require a JRE. To develop your Java applications, we require a JDK. Like compilers, debuggers, the necessary tools to develop the Java applications. All these things are available as a part of the JDK. Once you create a Java application, you do the packaging, and to run that Java applications, we require a JRE. And then there is one more you will listen very often, JVM, Java Virtual Machine. This is a part of the JRE. In order to execute your Java programs, the JRE contains the JVM, Java Virtual Machine. This is the whole responsibility of JVM is to execute your Java program on top of your operating system. On top of your operating system, the JVM is the memory allocation, deallocation, thread creation. All these things will be taken care by the JVM, Java Virtual Machine. It is a part of the JRE. The moment you install the JDK, it is going to install the two things. Okay, JDK as well as the JRE. JDK and JRE, it is going to be installed. And here JDK internally contains the JVM, Java Virtual Machine. It contains here. Now, what are the application I have written here? This is the application, or this is a program, whatever I have written here. This program is written in high level. This program is written in a high level, like it's like English. This needs to be translated into the what machine can understand, and then the program will be executed here. Now, in case of the Java, whenever you write your Java program, suppose if I write the hello world.java, hello-world.java I have written here, and the convention says here your class name and the file name should be the same. The class name and the file name should be the same. Suppose if my class name is hello world, and the same naming conventions you need to follow that here, hello world. The preferred name for the class name is a nouns, person, or we can say country. These are the preferred names. And if it is having the multiple words, every letter should be starts with the capital letter. Every word should start with the capital letter. So the class name starts with the capital letter. If it is having the only one word, everything will be in a lowercase. Like no, the example is, I'm taking the student. Student is a class. Country is a class. Okay, and here we are going to say it as a. I'll be saying it as a player service. Okay, player service is also a class. If you take it here, the class name starts with the capital letter. Is it mandatory if you are asking? No, it's not mandatory, but this is the conventions, the Java naming conventions for your class name you would be following. Okay, if you are creating everything in a lowercase, so even your variable names also will be in a lowercase, which is a class, which is a variable, you will get confusion. To avoid that, we would follow the proper naming conventions you will follow for your classes. The class name starts with the capital letter. If it is having the multiple words, every letter, every starting of the your word will start with the capital letter. Okay, just we are going to say it as a connection connection details manager. Okay, something I'm typing here. Here we have got the C capital, D capital, M capital. We are going to take it here. So this is a naming conventions you would be following when you are creating the class. Now I have created this class, and I have written this example, this code I have written here. And how do I my JVM will execute this? How do you my operating system knows about the what is the code I have written? How it will understand? It won't understand that. This program needs to be compiled. We need to compile this code. Okay, for that we would be using the command called the Java C, and I'm going to write the hello world. I'm going to write the Java I'm writing here. So this, where did you get this Java C? This Java C is the part of JDK. Suppose if I'm taking here, okay, so let's quit. Exit. Okay. Here we are going to create a one simple file I'm creating here. Touch. I'm saying it as a hello world.java. I'm going to create a one new file I'm creating here. Hello world.java I created here. Vi hello world.java. I'm going to execute this here. I'm going to write it as a public class hello world. I'm going to write it here. Hello world I'm writing here, and where we are going to say it as a public static void main. I'm going to take it here. String array args I'm taking here, and this is a place where I'm writing the system.out.println welcome to Java world. Okay, something we are writing here, and end this message, and we are going to close this here, and we are going to close this here. Okay, then we are going to save it as a WQ. I'm going to type it here. Now if we take this here ls, I have a one file. That's a file name is hello world Java we are having here. Okay, this is a hello world Java we created in this directory we created here. In order to execute this here, first I need to compile this here. Hello world.java. I'm going to compile here. Java C, Java compile. You compile. Okay, then when I'm going and looking at this here, we got the dot class file. It will be generated here. Okay, this is a hello.class file. It's created here. This dot class file contains the bytecode instructions, and this bytecode instructions it will be understood by the only Java runtime environment or JVM. You can say that here. In order to start your JVM Java runtime environment, you would be giving the Java command. We are saying that you start my Java runtime environment by loading this class. Now I'm going to execute this here, which is printing it as a welcome to Java world. Now, when you write your Java program, you are writing in a high level, you are writing here, and that program needs to be compiled. The moment you compile your program, it is going to generate a one dot class file. It is going to generate here. This dot class file would be generating like this hello world dot class. It will be generating here. This dot class file is okay. When you're taking the hello world Java and we are compiling this program, it generates the hello world Java. If you compile that here, it will generate the intermediate file it is going to generate. The moment you compile your program, immediately it is not going to generate a executable file in case of the Java. It will generate a intermediate file it's going to generate. And you can take this dot class file to any operating system, whether Windows, Mac, or Linux. Like, once you compile your program, you can take this file and you can run it on any operating system. But there is a catch in that. Whenever you want to run your .class file, it should contains the JRE. Like, that operating system should contains the JRE. Then only you can run this here. These .class files are not specific to the any operating system. These are the specific to the JVM, Java Runtime Environment. Suppose I have a Windows machine, I have a Linux machine, and I can take it as a Mac. Like, this release I want to do for the Mac, Windows, and Linux. You want to do that here. Now you can take this .class file. You can execute this .class file on any operating system. You can execute on any operating system. You can execute that here, Windows or Mac. You can execute that here. Like, this is the different operating system. We are going to take it here, like Windows. So here we are going to take the Mac, and here we are going to take it as a Linux. Okay, Linux, any operating system. But ensure that you have a JVM, Java Runtime Environment, is installed on these machines. Otherwise, you cannot run that here. In order to run this program, .class file, in order to run on these operating systems, you will be using the command called the Java, your class name. Hello world is my class name. Hello world is my class name. I'm going to give it here. You take this run command, you can execute like Java command, you can take it here and you are going to execute Java hello world, you are going to execute. So this Java command, what it does is that it is going to start the Java runtime environment by loading this .class file into the memory. And once it's loaded, the Java runtime environment is started, the JVM is going to load this .class file and it does the memory allocation and it's going to execute the what are the instructions you have written here. So you compile once, run on any operating system. Compile once and run any operating system. So this behavior we call it as a platform independent. Java is a platform independent. You can compile once, you can run it on any operating systems. In order to run that here, we require a JRE. It's required in your mission. So to develop your applications, we require a JDK. To run your developed applications, we require a JRE. Suppose if you install if you are using the client missions, they are not going to develop anything, just we require a JRE. Suppose as a developer, you require a JDK because you are going to develop and you will be debugging, and then you are going to run your applications. We require a JDK, and whereas if you want to run only applications executable files, you would be taking the JRE you are going to install. Now the process is here something like this. You write your Java program, convert this high-level language into the mission understandable language by using the Java compiler. The moment you compile that, it is not going to generate a directly executable files. If you generate the executable file, it will become the platform independent. Instead, it will generate the .class file. This .class files contains the bytecode instructions, and these bytecode instructions are specific to the JVM. In order to execute that here, you would be using the Java hello world we are going to execute. Then you can run it on any you can take this .class file by using this command on this operating system. You can run it on any operating system. You can run that here. So this is the way typically when you're writing the command line, the Java program is going to execute. But most of the times we will not use the command prompt to type your programs. You would be using the IDs. We are going to use it here, and the ID internally it does for you. The moment you write the line of the code, it is going to compile and it will generate a .class files it is generating here. You can see here target folder. It generated the .class file it generated here. Okay, this .class file contains the bytecode instructions, but here they are using the decompiler and they are showing that the decompiler code. But these bytecode instructions are we cannot read it. It's not human readable code. So since we are they are using the decompiled class, they are using and they are decompiling that code. .class files they are decompiling and we are seeing the source code. But ideally, if you are not using the decompiler, we cannot read this code. This contains the bytecode instructions it contains here. So all these things will be done by the automatically your IDEs. The moment you write any line, immediately it is going to be compiled, and that compiled code will be available in your project. It will be available, and this is the code which is running, not the source code. The class which is running is here. Behind the scenes, this is the class it is running here. These all the steps kind of a hidden for us when you are using the IDE. Directly we are, the moment you type the class, and when there is a compilation error, immediately it is going to highlight, and then you are going to fix that, and then finally you are going to run that application. You are doing a click and you are running this application. We are not going to do all these steps like Java C and Java. So why I'm explaining that here, behind the scenes, what happens when you're executing any Java programs, how this is going to execute. First, you're written like English, that will be translated into the what machine can understand. Then from there, you are going and starting the Java runtime environment, and you will be executing your dot class file you are executing. So this is the way the Java is going to work, and this is the way they made it as a platform independent. Let me give a pause. Any questions here so far? So far, any questions? Okay, you guys are able to follow at least?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Even one person says, if you have a question, I'll answer. Even one person says, if you don't have a question, I'll continue. Yeah. Cool. This is what you would be writing a simple hello world example. Now here, when you take the Java, so Java is a platform, and at the same time, we can say it as it's a programming language. It's a programming language. You can say that here. And whenever you're learning the programming languages, what I'm trying to do that here with that programming language? Why do I need this programming languages? Say that Java, Python, or you name any programming language. The main purpose of the programming languages are you want to do some computations, and you want to interact with some databases, or you want to interact with some other systems you want to interact. This is the main purpose of that. No? So when you take a simple example, like now, suppose if I'm taking one of the simplest example, I'm going to give you that here. So suppose if I want to add a sum of two numbers, I'm telling it as we need to add a sum of two numbers. If number is, I'm going to say it as a 3, and the number is, I'm going to say it as a 5. Number is a 5. If I say that here, we don't require a pen and paper or calculator. Like it's a simple mathematics. 3 plus 5 is 8. You got the result. Suppose the number is, it is going to be some 6-digit number, and another number is we are going to make it as some 4-digit number, find with some decimal places. Here also we have got this number. When you want to add this here, we require a calculator, or you require a pen and paper at least to solve this problem. No, because it's a small numbers, we can remember and we can do that computations. Like if when it comes to the bigger numbers, then immediately what you are doing here is you are taking the pen and paper and you are writing the first number. Hey, this is my first number, and you will write on the down. You are going to write the second number, and you do the computations. No, you are going to add these two numbers. And finally, you are going to tell that here, hey, this is the result. You are going to tell that here. So in case of any programming languages also, when you take this is the entire memory. If you take that here, you may be having the 512 RAM, or you may be having the 18 GB RAM, or like this depends on the what system you are using. So in this 18 GB RAM, or Java is going to take the maximum of the 2 GB memory is allocated here. Okay, this is your entire memory. You are going to take it here. Let's take it here. This is the entire the memory 18 GB you are having here. Just imagine that this is the 18 GB. Your Java is going to get some 2 GB RAM. It is going to get it here. In that 2 GB RAM, it is going to have the memory space. 2 GB is allocated for that here, and this again it will have the multiple memory areas in internally Java. I'm not going to get it into that here. So just imagine that this is this entire 18 GB RAM. 18 GB RAM Here we are going to give the for the Java, you are going to give it as a 2 GB, we are going to give it here. What are the Java programs are going to execute? This is going to take this 2 GB, all your variable memory allocation, all the variables creation, everything will happen in this 2 GB RAM only. It is going to happen. It is not going to take the entire 18 GB. It is not going to take it here. The programs, Java programs are going to execute in this, like no, it is going to utilize this 2 GB. It is going to utilize. And here, when you speak about that here, there is a something called the Java memory area called the heap memory. Okay, this is a heap. We are going to take it as a heap memory. What are the variables you are going to create it here? Okay, I want to add these two numbers. First, I'm going to take a number 1. I'm taking the number 1. I'm going to take it here. The value is like, let's put it as a 1 2 3 4 5.2 1 2 3 4 5. Then we are going to take the 1 2 3 4 5. We are going to take it here, and I'm taking the number 2. I'll be taking it as the same value. We are going to take it as a 5 4 3 2 1 comma. Then we are going to take the 5 4 3 2 1. We are going to take it here. 5 4 3 2 1. I'm taking here. These two numbers I want to add it here. I want to do the addition of these two numbers. I need to do that here. The sum equal to, I'm going to do this here. The number 1 plus number 2. I'm going to do this here. Sum equal to, we are going to do the number 1 plus number 2. Now, what internally happens is here, I need to allocate one memory area for, I need to allocate one memory area, and I'm going to name this memory area as the number 1. I will be storing this value as this is a value. I'm storing it as a 1 2 3 4 5 dot and 1 2 3 4 5. We are going to store it here, and similarly we are going to take another variable you are creating here. Similarly, we are going to create another variable. So you would be naming it as another variable. You are going to create it in the heap area. This is a value we are going to say it as we are going to say it as a 5 4 3 2 1 comma 5 4 3 2 1. I'm going to take it here, and the name of this I'm going to give it as a number 2. Okay, name of this is, we are going to give it as a number 2. We are going to give it here, and when you do the computation, we are adding the value at this memory location. We are going to store it in another variable. You are going to store it here. That result we are going to put it in that, and that result variable name is, I'm going to give it as a sum. I'm going to give it as a sum. Here this is going to perform the number 1 plus number 2 value at the number 1 variable, value at the number 2 variable. It is going to add it, and finally it is going to assign to the sum, and the sum is, we are going to print it here. Suppose if I take this here, the result will be the something like so 6, and we are going to get the 6 6 6, and everything is going to be a 6, and this side also it is, everything will be the 6 6 6. You are going to get it as a, and you will be getting the 6 6 6. You are going to get it as a result. Okay, this is a result. We are going to get it here. This is a sum which you are going to store it in a variable. You are going to store it here. Now, when you take the pen and paper, how we have done that here? Here also same thing. Here we are going to give the some space. Here you are going to give the some space on your paper. Then finally you are doing the sum, and you are doing here. The same thing. Whenever you are writing any program, you need to create a variable. What is this variable? And this variable is a name given to the memory location. I'm going to reserve some memory, and I'm giving a name for that. The memory location I'm going to give the name for that is number 1. I'm creating a one more variable, and I'm giving the name for that memory is number 2. And here also we are doing the something here. We are doing here. Most of the times when you are working in any programming languages, you will deal with the numbers, and you will deal with the characters. Like we can say it as a strings. We can say that here. Okay. Whenever you take it here, data types, we call it as those things we call it as a data types. Data types. So typical data types in Java, we have 8 primitive data types. Okay, whenever you are working with the numbers, byte, short, int, then we have a float, double, long. These are the numeric data type. In order to deal with the numeric data type, number data types, you would be using the byte, short, int, float, double, long. Suppose if you are using the numbers with the decimal values, you would be using the either float or double. If we are not having the any decimal places, you would be using the byte, short, int, and long. We are going to use it here. Now you may ask the one more question. When anyhow we are dealing with the numbers, why do you need to have the so many data types? Instead of that, you could have the one data type called the number. The thing is that these days memory is not a big constraint. Memory become very cheap. If we go back long ago, like the memory was a big constraint. Okay, you know that you are going to store the value is it never cross the more than 127. If you take the integer, it is going to take the 4 bytes. If you take the byte, it is going to take the one byte memory. It is going to take it here. Depends on the values, what kind of value and what range your values are going to fall. You would be choosing the one of this data type. You are going to choose that here. If you are relatively simple values, small values, if you are storing, suppose if you are taking the number of days in a month, number of weeks, number of days in a week, those numbers will be 1 to 7. Okay, or you can say that is a 1 to 31. Why do you need to go for the integer data type? You could use the byte data type so that it is going to take 1 byte. Otherwise, whereas if you use the integer, it is going to take the 4 bytes. To use effectively your memory, so we have a different data types you are having here. So depends on the data, the kind of data you are dealing, you need to choose the one of these data types. You are going to choose it here. The byte, short, int. When you are dealing with the numbers with the decimal places, where we are going to use the either float or double, we are going to use it here. And then when you are working with the Boolean data types, either true or false, we have a data type called the Boolean. And the character data type, you have a data type called the character. Suppose if I'm asking the simple question, so what is your age? And here this is a question. And here if I'm asking the what is your height? Okay, then what is your name? Okay, so then here, or do you like do you like switch? Okay, this is the questions I'm asking here. Every question you will give the different answer, no? So what is your age relatively? You may say that here maybe 23 years. And what is your height? You will say that here 5.7, and here 5.7. Or what is your name? You will be saying it as a some name I am going to give it here. Do you like switch? You're saying this and no. Okay, so or you may say that as a no, or you can say it as a false. No, I don't like this. No. So this is what, like, no, are you okay? Here you are going to say it as a 2 is greater than 3. Okay, is it 2 is greater than 3? I'm asking the question. You will say that false. Okay, 2 is not greater than. So now here your inputs are depends on the question you are giving me. Sometimes you are giving the number, sometimes number without any decimal places. You are giving the number with the decimal places. You are giving the group of characters, and you are telling the Boolean value, say the true or false. You are going to say that here. In order to deal this data, we need to have the data types. These data types are like, no, Java has got the 8 primitive data types, or primitive data types also known as the fundamental data types: byte, short, int, float, double, long, Boolean, and character. Depends on the what question you are asking and what answer you are expecting, you are going to store it into this particular type. Now, whenever you are declaring the variable in Java, you would be declaring like this: data type. Okay, data type, and here you are going to give the variable name, and here you are going to give the variable name equal to, if you want to assign the default value, you can assign that here, otherwise you can ignore that here. Suppose if I'm taking the int, I'm saying it as age equal to 23. Okay, this is the integer is the data type. The moment this statement is encountered, JVM is going to reserve a 4 bytes of memory, and the age value 23 will be assigned to that age value. So this is going to reserve the 4 bytes of memory, and it will have the internally one address. Okay, every memory location will have the address. That address we cannot remember. We are naming that address as the age. This variable name is I'm going to referring to the age, and I'm storing this value as a 23. And in future, if you want to access this value, I would be using this variable. So the variable is a name given to the memory location. We call it as a variable. And the whenever you are defining the variable, each variable should have the one data type. The data type represents the what kind of data you are going to store it in that memory location, and how much memory is allocated should be allocated for that variable will be decided by the data type what you are using here. So this is the way you have got the 8 primitive data types you have in the Java. So how to declare this variable and how to write the simple examples we would be discussing in the next class. Before I'm going to close the session, does anyone has any questions? Okay, I don't know how many people are there. So yeah, any questions, guys? Any questions?
Can we also use the Visual Studio Code, sir?
Yeah, you can use Visual Studio Code also can be used. Yeah.
Okay.
So we need to add a
long data type.
huh?
When we use the long data type.
Long data type is like no when you have a bigger value. Suppose if I'm taking here JShell, let me open that here. Okay, we'll take it as a integer dot. I'm going to take it as a integer dot max value. Okay, if I'm taking the max value, if I'm taking here, this is the maximum value integer can hold. This is the maximum value it can hold it here. 2 to the power of 64 minus 1. That is the maximum value it can hold it here. Suppose if I want to store the long dot, I'm taking it as a long dot max value. Okay. So when you want to store this is such a bigger value, you would be going with the long. So the integer is going to take the 4 bytes memory. The long is going to take the 8 byte memory. It is going to take it here.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So when you are dealing with the like no Elon Musk or like no the bank's balance, you would be going with the long value. You are going with that. No. So when you are storing the simple values, then you can go with the integer values. The long value is typically is really very big values. If you want to store that here, you would be using that. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Good. Any other questions? Okay, if you don't have any questions, I'm done. And these links will be like no, they will be sharing the links with you guys. Okay, this what are the running nodes and what are the examples I'm going to explain this here. I'll explain tomorrow before I'm pushing this code to the GitHub how the GitHub works and what is the GitHub. I'll explain and I'll share. We'll be sharing the links with you so that you can access the classroom examples whatever I have done that. Thank you guys and see you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, guys. Yeah.